Alright, we're all set up, we're ready to roll.
Yeah. So.
Alright, let me just do a quick intro, introduce everybody. What's up everybody, this is Ahmed Ibrahim back again with another video. Today we have something new, we have something special. We got a podcast set up for young entrepreneurs to share ideas, bounce off concepts, and really see where we can go with this. Today I have accompanied with me my good friend,
Dad.
And
yeah.
Go ahead.
Dad, Popquie.
And Chris, my coach.
So the thing is, I actually met these people recently, and then we talked about doing a podcast, and they were all down for it. So yeah, we're excited about doing this. If you guys have any ideas, leave it in the comment. Make sure to like the video as well if you learn anything new. And yeah, we're just gonna get started. So right now they were just talking about Bitcoins. So
which I suppose is somewhat related to entrepreneurial.
Of course it is.
No, and I wanted to on your point of like, you know, we wanted to start the podcast, and like you came into the store and just getting to meet you, I realized how like-minded you were, and as soon as we started talking about it, we hit it off, and that was something that I knew. I think I like, especially in business, is finding like-minded people. I think that's one of the best things you can find.
Exactly.
With people that you actually like get along with and actually understand you as well.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the experience of how we met.
Oh, that was yeah. So mind you, it was a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in the Honda dealership right in Westchester, and I'm getting my oil change, and I'm talking to my boy who I went to college with, who does like software, but he has problems getting out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, he sounded like he had a tough time.
Yeah, yeah. So he's asking me for advice and what to do, how to invest his money, what not to do, should he move, should he not, and all this. I'm like, the best advice that I gave to him, I was just like, hey, put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, meaning put yourself in a spot where you can grow mentally and swim from there. Basically, that's kind of where it is, because if you ever, I'll give an analogy, if you ever fell in, if you're in the ocean and your boat capsized and is all crashed,
yeah,
and you're in the ocean, what are you gonna do? You're not just gonna
tread water.
Yeah,
you're gonna swim. You're gonna
swim.
Raft.
So basically, I told him, hey, put yourself in an uncomfortable position and go from there. You'll figure it out.
That's really good advice.
Adversity is one of the greatest factors and one of the greatest catalysts for betterment of oneself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to face challenge in order to grow as a person in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah. And the thing what I really like about this whole entrepreneurship business thing that I'm kind of having fun with is stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I feel like for young entrepreneurs, especially the ones that are watching and the ones that I'm staying with right now, you know, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's really how you're going to strive. So you put yourself in positions of you kind of like not knowing what the fuck to do in life.
Exactly.
Eventually you're going to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
If you put yourself through enough uncomfortable situations, you're going to gain some kind of, you're going to get desensitized to like all the bullshit that really doesn't matter. And you're able to focus on what really matters. And then since you were stepping outside of your comfort zone a lot, you get to figure out what you like exactly to do, and then you can start being comfortable with that.
Yeah, to add on to that, stepping out of your comfort zone gives you confidence. Not false confidence, but like actual confidence.
The shit that you can feel
better understanding of
like Tarzan.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like you can walk into a room and you can walk with your head up high, or just with like a chip on your shoulder, because you know you've come from something, and what does it say? Think about diamonds, how they're made.
Yeah.
They're made under extreme pressure. So, and that's what makes them the most precious gem ever. So
I like that.
Exactly. And even to me, it's like you'd be surprised what you can do when you really put yourself into those situations.
Yeah.
There's so much that, like, in this past year that I didn't think I'd be here at this point in my life doing what I do, working with the people that I work with. I didn't think I'd have any of that kind of stuff. I threw myself into a situation where I had a chance to do something that I wanted to do. I threw myself at it full stop, like nothing held back, and that changed my life entirely. And I was surprised getting to this point where it's like, wait, I'm really capable of a lot more than I thought. I'm still learning about that.
Mm-hmm. And I want to continue off of that. I don't want to digress, but it is another branch off into like a different concept.
Okay.
If you look back to your life, how it was like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, right? Like you can tell that there's a drastic change that's happened. And then people that come out of rock bottom, if they've been at a low point of their life, you know, when they reach heights, when they reach things that they couldn't think of reaching, sometimes they create a new rock bottom.
Yeah.
Right? And then they start being comfortable with that kind of lifestyle. So what you need to do, and especially for the people watching, if you're at a point in your life where you feel like there's not a lot of change going on, where you feel a little stuck, you want to make sure to, going back again to the initial topic of this discussion, is expand your comfort zone, right? Do things that make you uncomfortable. And that's really how you're going to learn and chase your dreams.
Yeah. As well as, it sounds almost cliche, like, you know, being in a low point and trying to tell yourself, just reminding yourself, it's like, no, I can do this.
Well, actually, how about this? This has been on my mind for a while.
All right.
All right, you guys might think I'm crazy, but
Perhaps.
A little bit.
yeah, okay. And I can agree with you guys because I know myself. I'm completely self-aware of what's happening in my life. But do you guys talk to yourself
All the time.
Oh.
All the time.
No, be completely honest.
No. They say the smartest people talk to themselves.
All the time. I've given speeches, that hour-long speeches to myself. Like I've gone on monologues.
I'm not talking like you're just driving in the car, right? You're fucking sick of hearing the same song and ready to turn it off, and then you just have a conversation with yourself.
I mean,
has that ever happened?
Somewhat, but also like the conversation that I have with myself is, in a sense, like, yo. Okay, I'll give you a prime example. I was sitting at before I got to Westchester, I lived with a good family friend of mine out in Montgomery County, and the family was good. And one time we're sitting at the dinner table, and they were like, what do you have to do this week? And I said, well, we. And they were like, what do you mean by we? So that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, sometimes I refer to myself as we because I think of my brain as another entity and the mind as another entity because coming together they form me, but at the same time it's two things that kind of works. If one's jumbled up, the other one's gonna be like, hey, we gotta get something together.
You know what you're talking about? You're talking about the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain. How the right side controls that thing. I could be completely wrong on this, but I know that one of the sides controls like the cognitive function, like the logistics and stuff, and the other one is more emotional, more creative.
Yeah. I believe that one was left side, is like the creative side.
Yeah.
But
which one do you guys think you're more in tune with? The more logistical side or more emotional?
Neither. Yeah. I'm frantically jumping between both all the time.
All the time.
Like there's times where it's like pure logic, only reason matters. I don't care about feelings, facts only. And then other times it's like I'm extremely emotional and very like nothing matters unless it's benefiting me emotionally or personally. Like, but to the point of like talking to myself conversation wise, I would say I do, but it's in like an actual conversation. It's a small burst for me. Yeah. It happens probably pretty commonly and probably more than I actually recognize.
Yeah.
But like in the car, I'll like if the song's on and I hate it, or someone does something stupid in traffic, I almost talk to them, but it's to myself, and I'm telling myself how stupid they are. Yeah. Like it's some situations like that. But exactly. I'm just like, you fucking idiot. But I definitely think I actually like talking to myself because it helps me to flesh out what's actually going on.
Yes.
And verbalize that. It helps me to actually get that almost out on paper in a way.
Yeah.
Like just hearing it helps me to really think about what's actually going on.
Exactly. And the reason really why I brought this up is because literally like the other week I was in my car and I was driving home and it was like a 30-minute drive and I was just speaking to myself, like literally speaking to myself, right? And I know that sounds weird, but I reached this point into a conversation with myself that I discovered shit that I've never even knew before.
Yeah.
And then I go home and I look up the stuff that I was talking about, And it turns out that it's actually real.
Okay.
And I was just kind of mind blown at that. And I was like, hey, like this could be something. And the other thing, it was like, I had a lot of things to do on my way, like I had to make a few stops.
Mm-hmm.
So just me like speaking them out loud helped me prioritize what I needed to get done.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped my brain instead of like just, all the thoughts like mumbling around. It's just like a single stream of conscious thought.
Yeah.
And I find that helpful.
And I definitely think that's a great way to sort of like I won't say filter, but sort of like exactly what you're saying. Like you get a specific channel of thought going where it's like, now I can focus on this, and that I think is extremely beneficial in every aspect of life, but especially professionally, especially as an entrepreneur. Like you need to be able to focus on something and really only think about that, even if it's just for a short time. And I definitely think that, like you said, talking with myself definitely helps me to do that, because I'm able to just sort of focus on one idea and then just bring that to fruition externally. Like it's all internal, and then I can bring that out.
Yeah, my thing is, you going back onto the topic of emotion and logic. There are certain situations where, like, when it comes to like finance, money, car payments, like when it comes to literally doing practical things, that day-to-day tasks, my brain works logically because it literally can break down. Okay, I have this much in the bank. I have this much coming up. I have this payment coming up. Okay, let's prioritize and mentally like focus on what needs to get done. That's the logical. That's the logical side. But when it comes to like when I'm socializing and I have to listen to a conversation or adhere to somebody, or I have nieces and nephews too. So when I have to like interact with them and bring my full personality out, it comes out in the emotion side, and that's where I've learned, like, when it comes to like dealing with everyday stuff. Okay, logic. We're going straight logic, because it's pen and paper. I think of it as math.
Exactly.
It is what it is. But when it comes to like interacting with people and other facets of life, you need the emotion. You almost need like this watery like substance that can give, and you be able to take it not literally but with expression and figuratively, so you can also give their emotional feedback as well. So
exactly.
I don't know if like, but that's the way.
That's a good way to put it. I like how you said watery, because I heard this quote. It said that waves can crash and waves can flow. Be more wavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hippie, but I like that.
I heard that like a few years ago, and it stuck with me ever since.
Yeah.
It just really resonates with me, because again, it relates to the different sides of the brain.
Yeah.
I like how you're able to distinguish between the two of them in such a like way that is congruent with reality. You have car payments coming up. Everybody got car payments. Everyone got bills to pay, and then everyone else has to socialize, right? They have nieces, they have nephews, like I do. I'm sure you have kids that you deal with, maybe, or just anybody. Really.
Yeah, everyone you meet, there's a subjective like emotional feedback that you're both giving and taking from the situation. Every single person that I meet, and
it's important. It's definitely important, and it brings me to another point, which is when it comes to business, when it comes to entrepreneurship and closing deals, closing sales, all that jazz. What do you guys think is most important, EQ or IQ?
So
I know what IQ is.
Okay.
I'm going to be the first.
EQ is an emotional connection, or like networking? Or,
Okay.
To me, like being in sales for 3.5, 4 years at this point, or actually I guess 5 years at this point, networking has definitely been the one thing, or really just being able to talk to people.
I don't mean to interrupt. We're going to start a new session. Okay. Is your phone recording, or it is? Okay, great. So we can just keep going. Because I thought I was going to have to... Anyway, keep going.
The thing I really learned from my first few years was just being able to talk to people. Being able to connect with them. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't care if you buy anything. I wasn't on commission, so obviously I'm not like fighting to make the money here. But it's more people are more willing to buy from me. They're more willing to trust my opinion if I'm just talking to them, if I'm just having a conversation, asking them what they need help with. Okay, this is a problem you're trying to solve. Here's some options. This is what I think would be a good idea. But getting to know them in that same vein of like, okay, you're using it for this, that, and this. You're gonna need something that does this, that, and this. And that helped me to really I had only my regular customers came back to see me. New customers didn't really come to see me unless my boss like sent them over to me.
Yeah.
But every customer that I had before that came back to me and only me. They wouldn't deal with anyone else in the store.
Because they trust you.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that was building that trust. So I definitely think for me personally, it's EQ over IQ. That's not just to go again. That's not like just EQ. It definitely plays in, but I think to me, that personally, that's how I see it.
Yeah. I agree with you, and like in my life, playing sports was a big factor, and that allowed me to build some EQ, like how to literally come out of my shell, not just use facts. Like, okay, the person can see what you're selling does, is measurements, is attributes, all that. It's on paper.
Technical aspects, yeah.
Yeah, it's on paper. But when you start adding some life to it, and you start giving why you did it, why your passion behind it, like different things, and add more emotion to it, people will resonate. And that's if people resonate with your product more, you can sell way more than you think, than you could imagine. And so that's why I agree with that.
And honestly, it might sound stupid, but I think one of the best examples of this is actually ShamWow. Their marketing is so kitschy and humorous that it's like it makes every single person that sees it, they know the name ShamWow.
Yeah.
Every single person that saw the commercial when it came out, everyone knows it.
And I mean, even think about Apple. You know, Apple
Exactly.
is like they're kind of like a community.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
buy Apple, not every day necessarily.
You garner a sort of culture almost.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and you know, some people are diehard Android fans, like I am.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like I'm part of this Android community.
Yeah.
And people that buy iPhones think that they're part of an Apple community. So it really depends on the niche that you're trying to target, that you're trying to appeal to, and then you really have to earn their trust, because business cannot be done without trust.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can be done without trust.
Exactly.
Like if you didn't trust
there's
me,
nothing.
if you didn't trust me, you wouldn't have came here, right?
Society wouldn't exist if there was no trust that humans are going to be, or at least somewhat objectively morally good. Like, there's an inherent trust.
To share a personal experience, that is something that I had to learn the hard way, because me as a kid, I used to do things that really made people look at me in a way that they couldn't trust me.
Yeah.
And I that's when I hit rock bottom, and I had to learn that, you know, you can't be just like playing games all the time. You can't be lying to people. You really have to just live your life as honest as you possibly can. And then my ultimate goal is to be just 100% authentic.
I disagree with that. You can't always be 100% authentic.
Why can't you though?
Because it's okay. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Like everybody's always playing a role. Like, say if your parents, they had to play a role, they weren't always authentic. Like if your dad sometimes your dad didn't want to punish you, but he had to play the role because it was going to teach you a lesson, or his wife was looking to him to set the ground rules.
Exactly.
So when it comes to that part, I disagree with being 100% authentic, but you can be your true self at core. Like, I don't know if your friends that you attract are bringing your true core identity, the games that you play, like the different things that you surround yourself with makes it easier for you, that 100% you, to come out. But say you go into a new situation, you can't always be 100% authentic, because you are still feeling out the environment.
Exactly. And I mean, take the bars for example. On that one, like, you don't go to the bar and just like sort of chill back with the homies. Usually, you're trying to talk to people. You're trying to get out there and network, and you know, obviously, like, talk to girls and shit. But
see, my problem with that is like, why hold it back? You know, like, why censor it? You know, because I don't believe in censorship.
Okay.
I like to just kind of speak whatever comes to mind. I'm very unapologetic.
Mm-hmm.
So and I feel like that's really the way that builds trust. Like if you watch Gary Vaynerchuk, that's the style that I think I'm kind of incorporating in my life.
Okay.
So I like being very unfiltered. You know, whatever comes out comes out. absolutely no shits, no fucks given about how others
Right,
feel,
yeah,
but I still have the EQ to be able to associate with those feelings and able to get in touch with them to relate to somebody else.
And I don't disagree with you on anything that you said thus far on that. What I think to me is even more important, just I find people too often aren't authentic with themselves. Like you need to be comfortable being alone, and you need to be able to be happy being alone. Like, there's going to be plenty of time where you're going to be alone. You need to just deal with that. Like,
that is true.
I'm an extrovert. I love being around people. But when it comes down to it, if I'm like, I spend plenty of hours later just sitting here in the office, just working or just checking my trading, like whatever it is, and I'm alone. I'm completely in my head, and I'm okay with that. And that took me years to build to that point. And that's what I think many people haven't really grasped yet, is they don't know how to get to that point. They don't know where to start on building. Okay, I'm comfortable with just being me. Just with being
actually one of the best nights I've had was just me going out by myself, because
I used to do that in college all the time.
so you know how it is, right? When you can't find homies,
done it a couple times so far.
Man.
A couple times so far in Manchester.
And it's literally been the best nights of my life, because I'm the one who's controlling the game.
Yeah.
I mean, for my last birthday, I went out by myself. I ended up staying up.
It's
It's sad.
It's all right.
But I wound up staying
We gotta
up.
acknowledge this first.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You could have hit me up, Chris.
But I ended up staying up all night, meeting tons of people, and I literally ended up playing a game of basketball on the courts down by Rosedale at like 8:30 in the morning. Like we went.
Time, right?
It was a fantastic night, and I just went out. I had no plans. I had no inhibitions. It was just like, yep, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna have drinks. I'm gonna be merry, and it's gonna be a good time. And it exactly was.
I like that.
Yeah, I definitely think individuality stems from being comfortable with being yourself. Like, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. Like there's nothing about yourself that you should ever really hate. You can dislike things.
That's a hard.
There's a lot of things that I hate about myself.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's hate. I think it's you dislike it and you want to change it, but you're not sure how yet.
Yeah.
There's a catalyst that comes for, and I was actually writing about this earlier, that there's a method and there's subject. You have the actual content of the issue, and then you have the method.
You can't
with
get
which
too
you
comfortable with that. You know, you can't get too comfortable with your things that you dislike. Because if you do get too comfortable with it, then it's never going to change. There has to be that discomfort. And again, to the comfort zone, you have to step into it and be comfortable with being discomfortable.
Going out by myself. So I had a friend who was Norwegian, and he moved to California because his major wasn't there. And that was my buddy. So all of a sudden, I had other buddies out there, I can hang out with, but sometimes when they were deep in their study, I'm a, like you said, extrovert. I need that noise. I need that interaction. I need random spurts or random stimuli. And that's the thing. I call it stimuli, but it's
it does stimulate you.
But just normal conversation, talking to people, learning about their experience is something that I enjoy. It's just one of those things that brings me joy. But in order to enjoy that, it's almost I have to be comfortable with myself. I have to know okay, I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable with this, or I'm uncomfortable with something else. And once you start knowing your dislike, your your priorities, what you find,
you really feel comfortable with yourself.
It's like this strong sense of individuality where nobody can sway you off of who you are.
Exactly, and that's a huge building block for real confidence, like you were saying earlier. Confidence really is key in a lot of, if not almost every area of life. But the basis for being confident to me is being individual, or at least being comfortable as an individual.
Yeah, I agree. You guys practice no fat?
No fat. I've heard of no fat.
Celibacy.
Oh.
Containing your life essence in your body.
I thought
you said fat. Oh,
I thought you said no fat.
I was just
what?
No, it's not a diet. It's no fat.
No, I can't say I've heard of that. I am.
Because that is the most disciplined thing you can do to yourself.
I definitely
think abstaining from any kind of
any sort of like intimacy or for yourself.
Yeah.
I have not practiced.
No,
I know. I'm
I'm
not.
looking at you guys in the type of way right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right. But
There goes your unfiltered. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but no. Seriously though, the discipline in it is
It's
immense.
very hard.
Yeah, exactly. No pun intended. Huh?
All right, and cut.
That's it. We're done.
Intermission.
Oh man, that's funny.
That's perfect. I'm up.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm up. How much am I up, actually?
Oh, that's hilarious. No, but that is a hard thing to do.
And he said, yeah, those are people that are actually just going to the suggestion, just hitting follow on every single one.
Oh yeah.
And then if you don't follow them back within a week, they have an app that shows them like if people follow them back or not. If you don't follow them back, they unfollow you. I'm like, that is one of the weirdest That's one of the weirdest marketing strategies I've ever thought of.
That's desperation.
It kind of is, and at the same time, it works. Like I gotta imagine those 10,000 followers came from doing similar stuff like that.
Yeah.
They only have like 300, 400 posts. Like any of these Instagram influencers with over 1 million followers, easily thousands of posts. Our Cloud Products has, God, I think like 4,000, 5,000 posts.
Wow.
And that's only a couple like months.
Just nonstop putting out content.
Yeah, exactly. Like. And that's
there's more effective ways to market though, but I mean that's definitely another good way. Is just kind of like splurging content. Yep. Go ahead and start this. We'll get a. Just 1 second. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Wait, it's a cut anyway. I'll say welcome anyway. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed the conversation we had with Dad and Chris. We're going to wrap it up, but before we let you go, let them know where they can find you.
Well, I'm a very social guy, but what I use most likely is Instagram, and all my social media are like intertwined. So you can find me at Popquie
We'll put it right here.
Yeah, Popquie on Instagram and on Snapchat. Hey, snap me something. I might snap you back.
Gotcha. You can find me at Ryan's Pub every Thursday. Instagram, I keep most of my social media stuff either separate or I don't. I only use like really Instagram, Snapchat, and Reddit. But yeah, you can find me at just Chris Markiewicz. I guess we'll put that up there as well.
Yeah, we'll put it right here.
Yeah. And then follow Cloud Products to just give my homies a shout out. And yeah, if you ever need anything in Westchester, I'm always here.
Cool.
Nice.
And you guys know me. You can find me at a.ibrahim_ on Instagram or a.ibrahim_ on Twitter. Snapchat Soccer Skills with a Z at the end.
I need to get back on Twitter. I really do.
No, my Twitter.
So fun.
You'll laugh at my Twitter. My Twitter, and I've had it since high school, and it's called "Who's Your Daddy."
That's such a good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny.